Greetings, one and all. If you're watching this from the confines of YouTube, it is because we don't have a live stream this week. Unfortunately, my technical difficulties are expanding exponentially. I currently do not have my updated processor or motherboard with me because they were struck by lightning. Hooray! So we're going to be locally recording this session, which is cool because it means I can edit it a little bit and make it nice for you guys. It's not, you won't see the failures live and in person. However, I am going to go ahead and jump in. Welcome to Olympus Rising. We are in session 4 or 5. I think it's 4. And it's been a couple weeks since we were back, so we're going to do like a big recap once I get in with all the players, and we find out what they've been doing all week. A lot of people have been doing a lot of things, so without further ado, let me go ahead and turn on the volume here.
I'm not going to cheesesteak.
That's not even a valid excuse. You could get one in the airport running to your connecting flight.
Sadly, I could not, because there wasn't a place on the way, and my wife would literally kill me if I missed that plane.
So the first word after turning Discord back on was cheesesteak. Sounds like a good start.
You can just edit that right out.
You missed the part where I said I didn't have one, but that's
What?
fine.
You didn't even go to the touristy places? You didn't go to Pat or Gino's?
No.
I've been to both. They're pretty good. I preferred Pat's, in case anyone was curious.
I was so curious about.
If you've ever read anything about Philly, you know what I'm talking about. Pat and Gino's.
I haven't, so I don't.
So Pat and Gino's are the two restaurants that are directly across the intersection from each other, and they are the quote unquote originators of the cheesesteak. I think actually Gino's claims credit for serving the first one, and Pat's came right after them and started serving it as well. I will say though, they're super fucking rude. I don't know if that was part of the experience that I was supposed to have, but it's very clear that I was a tourist. And first of all, I hate looking like a tourist, so because I obviously deal with them on a daily basis. So I hate looking like one because I know how stupid they look. But when I have no choice, and then somebody is just a dick, I'm like, wow, this salted the whole thing for me. Thanks.
Yeah. In places like that, that's part of the charm.
Right, yeah. I didn't know. I was like,
Unfortunately, whether or not it actually is, I think that's what they're...
Yeah,
the reason they stay in business.
I'm from the fake South, right? We at least have a little bit of hospitality here.
Yeah, it depends on how far south you get, though, because there's none down here.
Well, I mean, yeah, Miami isn't really, I don't think, part of the United States, actually.
No, I'm pretty sure we're a territory.
Pretty sure
We're a
it's just
territory-
Cuba,
territory
actually.
of Cuba.
Right.
Yeah, it's just an annex section of Cuba.
Yeah,
that seems legit.
I think that's accurate, actually.
By population, at least.
At the very minimum,
well,
by population.
Population, culture, language, yeah, all of it.
Yep, that's awesome. Cool. So, speaking of, Will, how has your week been? Or 2 weeks, actually. We got 2 weeks of stuff to cover.
It's been real chaotic for me, especially balance between work and home and stuff.
Well, that's good. That's good. Not really. It's actually horrible, apparently. But that's okay, because we're back to playing RPGs, and,
That makes everything better.
I need my fix.
That's fine. You'll get plenty of it this session. Just try not to die.
I don't think he has that problem.
You'd be surprised.
I wouldn't.
Devin, how have you been for 2 weeks, sir?
Well, last weekend I went to Tampa because I had some friends who had free tickets to a Modest Mouse concert, so I did that.
Do I get shot if I don't know who that is?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
You know who they are. They played that song, Float On.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you
From,
heard one of the
2003.
songs, you would know. For sure.
Honestly, people play that game of name that artist. Don't ever pick me for a team in that game. I could sing you every lyric of the song if you give me the beat with no other words. I could sing you every single lyric accurately. I couldn't name the artist or the song name at all.
Yeah.
I'm really bad about that.
But,
No music trivia. Got it.
Yeah, no, music trivia is not my thing.
So that's what I did last weekend. No, that was 2 weekends ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then this past weekend, like yesterday, Saturday, I went out Pokemoning.
Yeah!
Yes.
I'm not sure, Will, are you into Pokemon? Because if you are,
Why
then we can
haven't
just
you
have
been
a...
talking in the official channel?
Right, we've been talking about Pokemon a lot. I think Devin...
I didn't even know there was a Pokemon channel made until today.
Hashtag Pogo.
You like that? Isn't that awesome?
Pogo.
That was good. Well done.
I was like, I don't want to write out all of Pokemon. Why not just call it Pogo? Sounds awesome.
But I do have a question. Has anybody caught a Growlithe?
No,
Yes.
I know
And you want
someone.
to know where I got it? Philly.
Where?
Nice.
Damn it.
I almost got tacked onto a trip to Chicago at the end of this in like 10 days, and I was so excited to go because I was like, holy shit, I can catch all the fucking rare Pokemon that I can't get in
Yep.
fucking Florida.
Yep.
'Cause let me
That's
tell
what I
you,
did.
Florida has the highest concentration of bug Pokemon I've ever fucking seen in my
I
life.
hate it. I hate it.
It sucks because bug Pokemon are so easy to beat.
Oh look, a Weedle. Oh
It's-
look, a Weedle.
They're the easiest like type class to counter. It's so stupid. Especially since Pidgeys are the most common thing in the face of the fucking planet.
Yeah. See,
So annoying.
There is, by the football stadium here, there's basically an Electabuzz farm, which is why I was kicking ass for the first week of this game,
Right.
because everything was Pidgeys, and I was just like pulling off faces.
Oh look, electricity.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Also, incidentally, Jordan, you would pick the 1 week that I actually get to leave Madison to travel within an hour's drive of me.
Yeah, I know. But it's not gonna happen anyway. The trip got canceled, so I'm real sad about that. But yeah, we could totally have a beer.
I
if
need
were
a
up there.
Growlithe for sure.
I know someone who has a Ponyta. That's kind of
Have that
close.
pizza that
I have a Ponyta, but I need a Growlithe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I found one, and he was a 418. I'm like, yes.
Okay, Officer Jenny.
So good.
I was told that there's a lot of, because I know somebody at work who just came back from Vegas, and he said there's a lot of fire Pokemon over there, fire and rock, which makes sense.
Makes sense. It's the desert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess I need to go out to Vegas this week.
Vegas Pokemon trip.
Somehow.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm sure I'll probably come back with something other than Pokemon as well, though.
Yep. More fire.
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Well, maybe not fire, but it'll definitely itch.
we heard a little bit about how Philly was. How was the rest of your time off? I'm just gonna walk all over that, whatever was just being said.
It's probably for the best.
it's gonna go down to Vegas and get some Krabbies.
I mean, the joke was right there,
Kinglers.
so.
There's also a lot of crappies in Florida. I'm just saying. Anyway, Megan, how was your time off?
It was fantastic, actually. Like I said, cities are cheats for Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is like I literally just sat for 30 minutes and went up like 3 levels and caught all the Pokemon. But anyway, it was pretty awesome. I experienced Bastille Day in Philadelphia,
Ooh.
which was pretty freaking awesome. Basically, all the drag queens dress up like Marie Antoinette and then throw cake at you, and that's just ridiculous.
Philly actually has a pretty high population of LGBT.
Yeah,
I would say rivaling Orlando, because I think Orlando is probably the capital of the world at this point. Even besides San Francisco, perhaps.
Yeah, I was just gonna say San Francisco maybe,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that was pretty ridiculous. And then I took a tour of the penitentiary, which is where Al Capone was.
Yep.
When I got to see his cell, which was super sick.
I did not get to do that.
And also that place is really scary, like inside. And it was night tours because it was after the festival.
Yep.
And so it was really creepy, like super creepy.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. Ate a lot of really good food. Did not have a cheesesteak because I don't know. I kind of find them a little gross, but that's fine.
So sad.
We can't be friends anymore.
Let me tell you. So on 9th Avenue in Philadelphia, which is like a couple blocks away from Pat and Gino's. Actually, it's right up the road from Pat and Gino's. There's this Russian coffee shop where they will mix chocolate chunks. They'll melt them down and put them in your freaking coffee.
Nice.
You mean you don't already do that?
But then they also do the reverse, where they will put espresso in your hot chocolate. Oh my god, it was the best thing I've pretty much ever put in my mouth. Philly was fun though. I also caught the flu in Philly and was in bed with 103-degree fever for 3 days. So that wasn't fun.
Ooh, no, that doesn't sound like fun. We did go to an Israeli restaurant, and I had Turkish coffee for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, oh man, I don't know if I can drink regular coffee now.
Yeah. I can't drink
That
regular hot chocolate.
spoiled me, man.
I know what you mean. That's awesome.
Yeah, that spoiled me. So.
Watching someone make authentic Turkish coffee. Is
Yeah, he
like
made it like
one
right in
of the
front of
most
us. Oh, it was so
satisfying
cool.
things.
That's
Yep,
awesome.
that was a cool thing that happened. But anyway, yep.
Cool. Matt, have your Pokemoning 2 weeks been?
Had to take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Did you get in a little deep?
I think. You gonna leave that right there?
Yep. Yep.
I think I actually may have tendonitis in my ankle from walking like 60 miles in 5 days.
That's incredible.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Worth it.
I mean, beyond that, I actually haven't been able to play. I've been super busy with work. I spent all weekend like.
Good. Give the rest of us a chance to catch up.
Presentation. Yeah. Well, at some point, everyone who plays this game is going to be between level like 20 and 25.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter, because I don't know if you've seen what the experience curve is.
Yeah, it gets
After
pretty
level
ridiculous.
20, but
I saw on Twitter somebody hit 30, and it showed like what you got at 30.
Yeah, so level 30 is, if I remember correctly, it's like 500,000 experience
Yeah,
points.
it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So that's, yeah. And it only goes up exponentially from that point.
Well,
So-
yeah, and to be fair, as with everything, like, this is probably one of the biggest hypes I've seen in a long time. It will eventually die down.
Yeah.
We'll
see.
whether or
I
not
think
that will
it's-
be good or bad, you know, because the more casual players, I think, will drop out first, obviously.
The casuals.
Filthy casuals.
Filthy casuals.
I'm pretty
well,
much-
it just released in some countries though, so like
It just released in Canada, yeah.
It's
true.
Like, yeah.
It's true. They actually played that. Normally, those are, like, that really type of release schedule is really bad for a game. Dark Souls 3 is a perfect fucking example. Everybody was super salty about Dark Souls 3.
Why is that?
So Dark Souls 3 released in Asia a week and a half before it released in Europe and the States. And so there were a ton of people who bought the Asian version of the game, because you could buy the Asian version of the game in the States and just download it. And ended up playing that, but weren't able to get the experience, and then gave really shitty reviews and kind of screwed with the Dark Souls rating a little bit. No, like, I don't even know the reason why they did it in the first place. But it was something about, like, wanting to give it. It was something biased, like, if I remember correctly, from what I was listening to. Like, it was literally a biased reason, like they wanted to give it to Asians first or something like that. It was really stupid. And it made it. No, I'm dead serious. Like, it put, like, everybody on tilt about it. People still played it, and it's still a successful game, like, regardless, but it definitely salted a lot of people.
So speaking of not casual gaming, has anybody played Overwatch Ranked?
No, but Devin, I think your microphone is buzzing a little bit. Is it too
Yeah,
close to your phone,
weird.
maybe?
Going full on Omnisaya.
Well, it's
Is it
buzzing
now?
though. It's not like crap.
better now?
No, it's still buzzing. No, but I did finally make Challenger, like full-on Challenger, not even like dropping back down to Prospect anymore in Rocket League, which makes me happy.
I saw that. I saw you text the other day, but I was about to go to sleep. So.
Yeah, that makes me happy. But let me tell you about RimWorld real quick.
About what?
RimWorld. Everyone who owns a PC and has Steam needs to purchase this game. Doesn't even matter if it's like a shitty PC, because this game can run on pretty much a brick. RimWorld is an independent game that is developed by one dude, similar to like Stardew Valley. And it's a colonist survival game. And I won't go too in depth because I could sit here and talk for hours, but I don't want to give Matt PTSD flashbacks.
Oh no, that's okay. Hey, if we Jordan, here's the deal. If you talk for 2 hours and then we still play for 4 hours, that's cool.
Right, exactly.
However, that was never the case before.
Right, yeah. Yeah, RimWorld, it's incredible. I accidentally, on purpose, stayed up till like 3:30 in the morning the day I bought it. After Siege, actually, I just played until like 3:30 in the morning. And now, let me remind you, yes, I used to work grave shift, but for the past year and a half, I've been waking up at 5:30 in the morning, 5 days a week. So, like, I'm not really used to staying up that late anymore, but I was so, like, involved with what was going on that...
I'm gonna check this damn thing out.
Yeah. I posted some
Don't
screenshots
do it.
in the... Oh, my
Don't
God,
do it.
Matt, it is incredible. It's incredible. I love it so much. And... the one thing I'll say about the game, and then we can go ahead and get started and do the recap and all that. The one thing I'll say about the game is typically, in a game that is unforgiving, like XCOM or, you know, in a sense, Rocket League, even though that's fully under my control, sometimes I don't believe that it is, really. But games that are general, Dark Souls is a good example if you've ever played Dark Souls. Games that are generally, like, unforgiving tend to, like, make people really mad. I am very susceptible to the rage, okay? Here's what happens for some reason in RimWorld. If something fucks up, or something goes wrong, or like, let's say, for example, last night, right before I went to bed, both of my breeding pigs went berserk and killed 3 of my guys. I wasn't even mad. I said,
I'm sorry, breeding pigs?
Yeah, you can actually you can tame any animal in the world, and literally any animal you could think of that exists on Earth is in there. Because every biome you could ever think of exists, and even some animals that don't exist on Earth, because it's obviously sci-fi. But yeah, I had 2 pigs. Their names were Crazy and Zoe. Zoe was the sow, and they had 3 babies. 2 of their babies died to lynx, so they went berserk.
Oh my God.
So they went berserk, and they killed 3 of my guys. And I wasn't even mad. I said, I'll do better next time, and restarted the game.
So for half a second, you mean lynx like the predatory cat,
Yes,
right?
like the predatory cat, yes.
Okay. Have you ever watched This House Has People in It?
I have no clue what that is.
Okay. So just watch that later, because I thought you meant lynx disease. And I was so excited to talk about this thing because no one ever has any idea what it is. Anyway,
No.
moving right along.
But yeah, so it's a game that can be super unforgiving, but for some reason it's like so chill at the same time that it doesn't make me rage. I'm just like, I'll do better next time. I know now to do this first before I build that. And the game is teaching me a lot. And I will say the game is very much easy to play, or easy to learn, hard to master.
Is it cooperative or is it just single player?
It's a single player game. It's a single player game. There's no co-op. I actually don't even know how you would even feasibly do co-op in this game. Just because of the way it plays and the way it's real fucking weird. Maybe you could if like you gave control, if you had like a control feature. But anyway, it's mostly it's like if you've ever played Prison Architect or any Banished is a good example too. It's like an amalgamation of Banished and Prison Architect. But it's really, really good. I suggest you check it out if you're into like base building, defending your place, you know, kind of survival simulator games. That's all I'll say on it. It's really good. Check it out. Fucking amazing. So, without further ado, 20 minutes recording. Perfect. Made a 20-minute intro. That's spot on, people. Great job. So it's been a little while since we've been together, and I believe that I need to just go into a little bit of a reminder of what you guys are doing, because people forget things, and that happens.
Yeah. I believe Meg Meg was having
me and her. So.
Yeah, just a calm bowl of ramen, uninterrupted or unperturbed.
Yeah, I actually believe Meg rolled a 2 on a luck save. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what you guys are talking about, actually. I don't know about a noodle bar at all. I don't know.
Right, yeah. So you guys, let's backtrack even a little bit farther, just to remind everybody of what's going on. So you guys are on the planet of Feryal, and Feryal is currently in the grip of a cold war between two factions, the Shushu group and the Shinabi Alliance. And you guys had met a representative of the Shushu group via the Westwind Corporation named Natalia. And Natalia essentially brought you to, or your job from the Westwind was to bring her and deposit her safely back on her home world, which you did fairly easily, but along the way, she was expressing concern and essentially offered you, the four of you, a job to become spies or clandestine agents, as it were, and gather information from their enemies that exist on this world, the Shinabi Alliance. Primarily associated with this odd seismic instability, or at least heavy seismic instability that occurs on Feryal. And so you guys agreed at the promise of gear and credits and glory, and just because you guys liked Natalia, she was a cool person, or whatever your motivations may be for doing so. So after spending some time and witnessing the damage that had occurred in what was the name? I always forget the name of shit that I make. Wuhan, in New Wuhan. After witnessing some of the damage in the capital there, you guys were put up essentially in the White House guest room, and then you were given a briefing and a mission to go to New Panlong and see what you could find out about the geographical area, because there were rumors that the seismic instability was less common on the side of the planet where the Shinabi Alliance existed. And so you guys did. You guys jumped in your ship, which is, unremarkable and doesn't show ties to either group, and you flew out into orbit. You got your own affairs in order, and you guys continued down to New Panlong, where upon landing you were greeted with a very different atmosphere for this side of the planet. A very kind of impoverished, bleak, unmaintained city, where essentially the only thing remarkable about it is the fact that I think there were a lot of questions from you guys as to, like, if this is the state of affairs across the entire nation, why is there a problem? Like, because back in Wuhan, you witnessed something down to even technological marvels with the large grav bridge that existed, and lots of technology designed to combat the dangers of the seismic instability. But here they were ramshackle buildings, almost tech level 2, or low tech level 3, essentially being held together by duct tape and spit. And so you guys had some curiosity about that, but you had a mission to complete. And so where we kind of left off is there was Oscar, who you were currently in the taxi cab that you had taken to the hotel, which, to remind everyone, that's the Chung Ho Hotel.
Yeah. I bought a taxi cab.
Right. You tipped the guy 50 credits, which was like 5 times more than what was necessary.
And he went on. He compressed a bender into like all of 3 hours and showed up. Yeah. Yeah,
he showed up like unable to function. So instead of having him drive you around, because I believe you were taking topographical information with your survey scanner, instead of having him drive you around, you decided just to throw him in the back seat and just put the survey scanner seat belted into the passenger seat and drive along. As you were.
Oscar went for a joyride around.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We left our friends Go-Go and Fortune in a local noodle place. You decided that you were going to go to the local place, not the seedy place, and not the not like the touristy place. You went to the local place, where you were attempting to gather some information on, like, I think, like, the state of affairs, like, whether or not there had been any, I don't know if it was, I believe it was specifically related to, like, the earthquakes and stuff, like, you know, you wanted to ask some questions about that, but not having a real good way in, you were accosted by what appeared to be a individual who works at the large governmental facility inside of New Panlong, and I'll just go ahead and pull everybody over here real quick, so we can just see, so we can get kind of an idea of what's going on here. So, essentially, you guys in the red light district, you were about in the middle of that box of things, and it was around lunchtime when you guys were doing this. Or actually, no, it was around like early dinner time, like maybe like 4 p.m. Yeah, exactly. Between 4 and 5, I would say. So yeah, you guys were Go-Go. You were accosted and subsequently hit on by this extremely. Oh, what's the word?
I'm calling him Noodle Douche. That's my current term.
Yeah, Noodle Douche.
Oh, please add that to the NPC list.
Noodle Douche.
That's part of my. That's how it's written.
So Noodle Douche. So you guys, you were being accosted by Noodle Douche, who had kicked the nice looking blue collar worker out of his chair that was sitting next to you, that you were going to attempt to charm, is what I can only assume you were going to attempt to do. And yeah, he was pursuing an interest in things with you. Fortune was offering no assistance.
Slight assistance.
In fact, even
zero assistance.
Even upon your what thing is really bad. Your crackling's really bad, Devin. I don't know what it is. It wasn't doing it before. I don't know why it's doing it now.
Let me try this.
But yeah, I think even upon prompting, like, she was like, I have a boyfriend, and you were just like, nope, not today.
You're a douchebag also.
You fix the crackling, it appears, so good job.
I'll plug it back in. Yay.
Yeah, good job. So you were offering no assistance, and Go-Go, seemingly having run out of options, except for either to, like...
Luck.
Well, I mean,
luck is still a possibility.
Her luck save is already burned, right? Like, that's what got her in, so she can't honestly make another one. But there are other people who could do things to assist you. For example, Fortune could do something, anything at all.
Anything to do.
I'm trying to think of what to do without getting us in more trouble.
Right? Yeah, because here's the deal. Like, you guys don't.
Because leaving it to Go-Go is going to be completely okay.
Fortune, you've had 2 weeks to think about this. Come on.
Yeah. Right. So you guys don't really know the political climate here, except for what you've been told, right? Where, like, the Shianabi Alliance has been kind of demonized by the Shushu group, right, as being, like, these cruel dictators. And so, like, that's all you know, right? Like, you don't know exactly how they would react to anything,
to
really.
me punching somebody in the face.
Right. Or, like, it's totally possible that, like, if Go-Go, like, kicks this guy in the balls, his friends are just gonna laugh because he struck out, right? Like, it's just, there's no telling where it will go. You'll just have to do something and find out.
Do it and find out.
Right. But probably most importantly, plot-wise, we left off, the ending scene to our last session was Boomer with his makeshift setup in the hotel room and his 56K modem that the hotel provides plugged into all of his devices, slightly smoking from all of the work it's having to do, received a hit on a search that Oscar had given him for a specific name, and that specific name was, I wrote it down here, it was, crap, what was the name, what was the name again of the family name? I wrote it down.
Toratek.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you had gotten a hit, and I left off kind of with the spoiler of Toratek, or Tortek, I think is how it's pronounced, right? With the Tortek family, you got a hit on that name linked to, and this was the cliffhanger, linked to the Shushu group. But we didn't get to see what was going on there. But we just saw like the lines of text like spinning across the screen, you know, all sci-fi-ish as they do, and it was just like, you know, that beeping noise every time a character is hit, like beep 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 beep. Yeah, and we see the
hail noise.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we see that, you know, search query found, you know, and then Shushu group, and then we faded to black. So I'm actually going to jump in right there. Boomer, you were told by like Oscar, like, hey, you know, look into this for me, and it was a side project for you because you were busy like, you know, cramming all the data that Oscar was sending back to you from his joyride.
Right.
But this pops up, and I assume that Boomer, you would take a minute to at least look it over, instead of just being like, file it away. You know, fine, okay, I found something.
Absolutely no. He would look it over.
Yeah.
Especially as a break from the other data.
Right, yeah. So maybe it's like, maybe the scene is actually, you're like coming back with a cup of coffee, and you have this alert, right? Like, you've got a cup of, you know, the mud coffee that this place serves.
Right.
And you come back, and it's like lukewarm because they don't even make hot here. And
it's all right. I can make it better by adding some engine grease.
Right. Yeah. So we see you pull out your flask and like drop a little bit in the cup, and you click on the alert, and it pops up, and it is your atypical government document in every government spy movie you've ever seen in your entire life, where it's almost unable to be read because of all of the redacted information on it. But what you're able to gather is that the name pops up in a search for actually probably a case file that the Shushu group has in like their public record, and so that's why like the portion that's like the hit came back is not redacted. But then as you search deeper, you know, you get into all this high level governmental files. And the strange part is, for you, Boomer, probably, is you didn't, like, hack into anything. Like, this was on the public airways. So, two possibilities kind of stem from that. Either, A, it's one of those things that, hey, this was classified at one time, but it's so far gone that nobody really cares anymore, so we're just going to put it out there. You know, it's like the what is it, like 20 years in the U.S. when stuff is classified, then it can become unclassified and available to the public.
Right.
Yeah. So it's either something like that, or somebody saw your query and plugged this in. Like, somebody actively pushed this information to you. That's essentially like the two options, which are both completely valid options. But that may be a little bit curious to your hacker brain. Even though you're not really a hacker, you're more of a technician.
Scientist.
Right, sure, yeah. So that might be a little curious, but what you're able to gather from the document that you get is there was like an old case file that was open and has now since been closed. And also you're able to get travel records. And similar to how like you guys checked in, you see travel records coming through this spaceport actually in New Panlong of the Tortek family. Like their names pop up, and there are two individuals. There is, from what you can tell, there is a male and a female individual. And then again, in just like general query, you see that there's a departure log of one male Tortek. And that's pretty much all the information you get from just your initial search. You'd have to like actually go somewhere to find more stuff, but your initial search essentially gets you there's a case file somewhere. It was tied to the Shushu group in some way, and then arrival departure records is essentially the three things that you get.
Is the file specifically with the Shushu group, or is it actually here in New Panlong?
It was in like the network, like so the sector net is essentially what you could imagine it as. Because like the entities on this planet can have their own networks that only feed into them, but at some point they have to connect to the sector net, which is global. It's actually run by the Exchange, who the Exchange is kind of this omnipotent force in the galaxy that has no direct influence on anything, but also controls everything, because they're the ones who control the money, and those who control the money control the universe.
Right.
If you get that reference. So yeah, so the Exchange is true neutral, right? Like they don't get involved unless you cause problems on one of their stations or something, where their enforcers will just come and put you in handcuffs and lock you up forever. So yeah, so the information you get is from the sector net, which is like the tie to Shushu group is literally they traveled through New Wuhan. I'm sorry, Wuhan is the Shushu group place. That two members of this specific surname traveled through New Wuhan at some point. There is a case file that has been opened and closed, like a public record case file. You can't see anything inside the case file. You'd have to probably get into the, like I said, like the local net over in New Wuhan to figure that out. But then you also have a departure record, because that has to go to the sector net, of a single male Tortek departing the planet.
Okay. I'm going to make sure that the search is still going, just to see if there's any more information that can be pulled off the sector net.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, this may just be the surface thoughts, so maybe let it go a little bit deeper, see if we can find anything else, and then start going back into processing the data that's being given back to me from Oscar.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. So, let's get back to the action, now that we have that squared away. So the action being... Go. Nothing has really changed in your situation here.
I have a very quick question before we go on.
Okay, continue.
Have we determined where Oscar is on this map?
We have not.
GPS location of Oscar.
We have not. Oscar doesn't. Oscar probably doesn't even really know where he is. But yeah, if you have a plan to
all the same, Oscar is somewhere, whether or not he realizes where he is.
You are somewhere within the belt of this, within this map somewhere. Yes.
Okay.
If you would like to determine, depending on what you are attempting to gain from what your location is, will determine if you have to roll for it or not.
I would like to determine what my proximity is relative to this restaurant.
Okay. So here's the deal. If you are going to attempt to intervene or at least assist in some way, if communications is your thing, because I know you actually said that earlier, communications is fine. You can totally communicate, no problem. because everything is on like there's plenty of comm signals bouncing back and forth between here. You've basically been talking with Boomer the whole time. So if it's a matter of communication, then you can totally have that, no problem. If physically you would like to get involved, it's going to require a luck check to see just if you happen, based on, as the description says, pure dumb luck, to be within physical distance of them, to physically interact in some way with the scene that is going on, then it'll be a luck check, and you'll need a success. Or I should say a luck saving throw, because they're actually called saving throws. Can everybody hear me? Am I?
Yes.
Matt.
Yes,
Matt,
yes.
Say something.
Did Matt die?
Earth to Matt. Hello.
Did
He may have fallen asleep.
Fair warning, I adjusted my mic. Oh.
He's typing.
We can't hear you anymore.
You adjusted it too well.
Oh, hey, how about that?
Over-adjusted.
Oh, hey.
There you go.
Yay.
Was totally hitting the wrong push-to-talk key.
Nice. Excellent.
Okay, so summarizing what I just said
Right, yeah.
that no one heard. It would totally be metagaming for me to be like, oh yeah, I want to make a luck check to see if I can like go and help, because Oscar would be like totally set on his task at hand.
To be fair, don't think of it this way. That's the purpose of a luck check. A luck check is literally something.
Totally.
A luck check is something I can totally say, okay, you're metagaming, so roll me a luck check. And if you pass, you get the metagame. If you fail, you don't get the metagame. That's purely what a luck check is about in this game.
Well, why don't we see if Oscar is nearby and if he has...
Here's the deal. It doesn't hurt you to roll it, right? Because if you roll it, then you can physically interact in some way. If you don't roll it, then they're still in the same situation. Yeah, no, so...
Yeah.
You are not close enough to physically interact with the scene going on unless it lasts more than, 20 minutes or so.
Oscar also does not have the wherewithal to have called the two of them just of his own accord.
Sure. Now Fortune can totally be like, here's my coordinates, we have something going on. That's totally something Fortune could do. Or Go-Go would probably be seen doing it, although nobody may know what she's actually doing.
Yeah. I think this is a situation where Oscar is not going to show up unless somebody goes out of their way to make him aware of what's going on.
Right, and
drawing that arrow, and how did they do that?
So the arrow is, you click on the little comb-looking thing. It's actually a ruler, and then you can click on a point, and then you can draw. If you hold down Alt, you can actually draw like exact from wherever you click. So, like, for example, I said you guys are like right here, and then to the Chung Hotel. This is not to scale. I didn't put the scale on this, but it's about that long.
I was gonna say it's definitely not 16 feet from red light district.
Yeah, it's only 16 feet. It's a really small state.
Yeah. So.
I'm just yelling at Boomer, hey, get over here.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you are indisposed with Wong, who's probably passed out again after his recent bout of puking, and yeah, you're survey scanning. So Go-Go, this guy doesn't give up very easily.
Really?
He's finished, probably, like, within, like, the minute of, like, kind of awkward silence, he's finished the noodles. You know, the...
Uh-huh.
And, I think that probably arriving at because you're sitting along, like, the bar. Arriving at the bar in front of you and in front of him is a shot glass of some clear, what is apparently alcoholic, liquid. And one arrives in front of you and one arrives in front of him. Do you interact with that at all?
Oh, I absolutely think Go-Go would welcome the shot, take it, and try to take his before he drank it.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I think that like he probably like grabs it, and then you take the shot, and then you grab it out of his hand and take the shot as well. And if you look at him, you see his eyes go wide a little bit. And he just gets this, like, cheesy smile on his face, and he's like, oh, I see. Okay. And you see him like hold up to the server like two more shots. And he begins preparing them. Go, it's very clearly vodka.
I was gonna say, what is it that I just drank? First of all,
it's like pure grain vodka. It's pretty coarse.
Okay.
That was my first thought. I think we're set on any alcohol we're ever gonna drink.
Right? Yeah, you guys are. No, after 2 shots, I don't think so. But
I didn't actually mean right now, but like warm up the physical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think he says. So he kind of like does the like lean in and like puts his face on his hand and looks at you and he goes, "So where are you from?"
I think Gogo just starts laughing, but doesn't explain.
Okay. So he goes, mysterious. I like that. And
she goes, "Oh, so you think that's mystery?"
Well, when a woman doesn't tell me where she's from, it can only mean she has her own demon she needs to exorcise. I understand.
Margot rolls her eyes and goes, "Better question, what is your name?"
Yeah, so I think that he's like, my name? Well, how polite for a woman of mystery. My name is Remy. And who do I owe the significant pleasure?
Oh, I don't think you've earned my name yet.
He goes, perhaps a few more of these. And as he says that, like, the shots arrive at the table, or at the bar.
I think Margot would take hers and then take his and give it to Fortune.
Okay, so what do you do when like you're just like do I don't see what's going on, la 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 la, and then just like shot lands in front of you.
I like elbow him and like slam the shot down in front of him.
I pick it up, sniff it, take it.
Sure. And he's like, he like looks a little confused, and he's like, huh. Okay, I see. Well, I don't want to be left out of all the fun. And I think that he looks like over, like he does the like lean over and looks at Fortune, and does that evaluating like glance, like, if it came down to it, can I kill him? Yeah, probably. And then he like. Because Fortune, you're not like that intimidating looking. You actually look kind of rough, right? Yeah. You look a little bit like a hobo.
Yeah, I definitely go for that, like, underestimate me look.
Yeah, and it's definitely what he does, right? It's just like automatically, and he goes. So he goes. So you won't tell me where you're from. You clearly like to experiment, and he looks at, like, your hair and then also at your arm, and he goes, that's something I can get behind. I can get behind that, yeah. So, if you won't tell me where you're from, how about where are you headed to?
Oh, we're already here.
Yes, but one doesn't stay in one place forever, and I can say I eat at this place most every day, and I've never seen you.
Oh, we don't plan on staying for long.
My point exactly. Where is it you'll be headed after, or are you spending at least a night in the city?
Maybe a night, but I definitely don't think it'd be with you.
He kind of laughs.
At this point, I probably lean over Gogo's shoulder at this point and be like, is there any more of that alcohol coming?
He just ignores you. I don't think he says anything to you, and he looks and he goes, yes, most say that, yes, but I have a bit of a roguish charm, if I may say so. He's like, I think you'll warm up, and this time, like, 2 shots come again, and before you can react, he like takes one of them and slams it, like. He's like, I'm not getting my shot taken away again, and he just slams it, leaving 1 on the table.
I think that at this point, Margot would slide it like in front of Fortune, like she was going to give it to him, and then she holds it for a while and just makes eye contact with him and doesn't let go of it until he like says something.
You're looking at Fortune.
Yes.
Please describe your save me eyes.
Oh, it's not save me eyes. It's I'm literally going to murder you if you don't do something right now.
That seems that seems similar. That seems similar, yeah.
Yeah. So
Save
like,
me via coercion or char or like, you know, puppy dog eyes. It's either way, it's
Or
the same
death.
thing.
I mean, whichever. Yeah, it's fine.
So I go, all right. I grab the shot and I go, I guess one more before we leave. And I take the shot and I get up and I grab Gogo and we just start walking out.
Wait, do you grab her like property? Just like hook her forearm and drag her up?
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah.
Margaret wouldn't let you do that, first of all, but I think if you did stand up, she would stand up with you. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so Gogo, which is it your left arm that is?
It's my left arm. So
Okay,
I think
yeah.
that he's sitting
Closest
with, like,
to the
my
left arm.
left. Yeah,
Yeah.
closest to my left arm.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, you guys stand up, and he kind of like he swivels the chair around, and he like leans back against the bar, and he's like, "Where are you going so fast? I thought at least one night."
Oh, you thought wrong.
He's like, "But is that not what you just said?" And you see, because remember, he's got buddies like sitting in a booth, like because it's a pretty cramped like location. He's got buddies sitting in a booth, and they kind of look over, and you can see them like kind of talking to each other and like looking at you and looking at him. He seems pretty like nonchalant. He's just kind of like swinging a leg off the stool, like kind of into the walkway a little bit. And yeah, they're like looking at each other and like looking at him and nodding, and you see one of them kind of like snicker a little bit. So do you guys just
I look over and wave at them with my cybernetic arm, and then just continue to walk forward.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that he's gonna grab your arm like as you go to leave.
Which arm?
Well, if you're walking out past him, it's probably your cyber arm.
Wait, can Margot just shed her cybernetic arm like a salamander
Sure.
escaping?
That'll be a lot of money to get both
Yeah.
that and a rocket launcher.
That would be super gross, dude.
That
would be
rocket
really-
launcher
Is
quest
it
would
grosser
never-
than a night with this guy?
Touche.
Yeah,
so
so I think he
if
grabs
you
your
grab-
arm and he's like, "Oh, come on. You've only just got here. You didn't even really finish your meal."
So is there a option on the compad to send out like a quick chat for like location? Just this is where we are.
A ping of just our GPS
Yeah.
coordinates.
Are you saying, is there an SOS emoji?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, that exists now in present times.
Right?
Of course it
Yeah.
exists.
Yes.
So I think that yeah, you could probably like Google Maps, Spoogle Maps, however you want to, whatever it is now in this world. Now,
Panlong.
New Panlong may not have the best like version of these maps, but yeah, you could probably ping. But again, like, we know that Oscar's not in the area, and we know that Boomer's not in the area. So yeah, but you could totally do it, and like at least make them aware, like, we have issues. And Boomer could probably actually trace your compad signal. Not very hard for him to do that, I don't think, even with the 56K modem.
Yeah, I think that's at this point when he's still, after we're trying to leave, still trying to advance.
Yeah.
Things are going to end up not good right now, so let me go ahead and do this before we get into a fight. So that way
Sure.
they at least know when
So
we
you
are.
like under the guise of like checking the time, you like SOS, you know, these
Yeah.
locations, send it out. Yeah. So you mass text it, right? So almost instantly, like Boomer, you finish your cup of coffee, and you just get back to work, and then another alert pops up, and it's literally just SOS emoji, death face, death face, death face. Latitude, longitude, from
Like the one that looks like the Scream painting that has its
Yep.
fan. You know,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, either Fortune's trying to tell me we have to hide 3 dead bodies.
Right. Yeah, and either way, it's an SOS, right? Like at this location. And by the time, like, if that may just be a thing anyway, right? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
By the time you get to wherever he
may be
is, there
3
may
dead
just be
bodies.
3 dead bodies.
Time will tell.
That is a possibility by the time someone gets here.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
This is sent to Boomer.
It's sent to, I mean, you guys have, you like 99% have a group text feature where, like, you can send it to multiple people. Yeah,
Sure.
so you both get it, right?
Okay,
So,
at that point, I think you're right. Boomer would take the time to actually triangulate where he is.
yeah.
And then send that coordinate to both Oscar and Gogo.
Right, yeah. So Gogo, like, he's got your arm, and like you hear like a ping from your compad, and then you hear a ping,
Which I think actually snaps, like, is enough to snap her from her immediate reaction, which I think was very smart. And so she takes her hand and, like, turns it very gently, so, like, she's going to hold his hand, the one that he grabbed her
right,
arm with.
Sure.
And then, like, you know, like, gently takes his hand down and lets go of it, and she goes, "You do not want to do that again."
So yeah, I think he goes, "Oh, and feisty, mysterious, and feisty, my kind of woman."
So at this point, if Oscar gets this cryptic text with a location,
How up on emojis is Oscar?
oh, not at all. Oscar does not.
Right.
Oscar
So you
does
see
King of emojis.
you see skull and crossbones, skull and crossbones, skull and crossbones, SOS from.
Like he gets that. He gets that, but he, like, doesn't know how to use them himself. So he would just send back, like, in said group chat, just the word stall, and then he would
Right.
No, he
Period.
sends
Head
back a
over.
winky face.
All
'Cause he doesn't know
caps.
how to use it.
All caps
Oh,
stall
yeah, sure,
period.
Sure.
Yeah.
It says the word stall and then, like, the poop emoji.
Yeah, like the incorrect emoji.
Because he doesn't quite no.
Right.
No. Just the word stall.
Sure. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you begin rocketing in that direction, Oscar. Which it'll take you a little while, right? Like, to get there, because we determined that you do not have
Yeah.
physical access.
Yeah, you tell me whenever if I get there.
So yeah, so I think that he lets go, and what do you do? Like, he hasn't, like, roll me a perception check, both of you, actually. I don't know if there's a better one. There's not, like, an insight check, is there? I've been so in depth in RPGs lately that I've just forgotten
there
all
is
the
not.
checks. Yeah, I think it's just
Is this
perception.
intelligence or wisdom?
It's gonna be wisdom, perception based on wisdom.
Well, I'm still not seeing anything, so
A 6 is a
Unless
basic
you
success.
want to use, like, culture douche noodle.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think Gogo would have some experience, but that's okay.
Noodle douche. Let's get it proper.
Oh, that's what it
it's
was.
noodle
Noodle
douche.
douche. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Gogo, like, you probably get the feeling based on, like, the reaction of the guys at the table, like his quote unquote friends or colleagues at the very minimum. You definitely get the feeling that this is not a uncommon thing to occur, and you feel like maybe this is not exactly what it seems like. You get the feeling that you may be the target of a joke of some type.
Oh, I thought I was always the target of a joke.
Right, but, like, how would Gogo react if you realized that he wasn't really coming on to you because you were pretty or, you know, attractive or whatever, but it was more of a game to him. You were a token in his game that he was playing.
I assume that Gogo knew that, like I said, from the beginning, because Gogo's not gorgeous.
Sure.
So I have a feeling that frequently when guys hit on her, it's like not because, oh my God, look at her, she's beautiful.
Sure.
It's like, oh, she's the only one there, or literally she's the only female in a group of dudes because, oh wait, that happens to her often.
Right.
So I feel like initially,
it's
like, I feel like
1:59 and it's almost closing.
So
I feel like that she would have had the same reaction no matter
Okay.
knowing that information or not.
So yeah, so you get the impression that if you were to just leave, it wouldn't adversely affect you directly or physically. Like, this guy's not going to pull out a stun baton and hit you over the head with it. But
Well, that's good. So I won't have to kill somebody tonight.
your pride might be hurt a little bit.
I don't know about Gogo's pride. However, would I have my trusty flask on me?
I mean, you do, yeah. If it's on your character sheet, you would. I don't think you would leave to go to the red light district of New Panlong
Right?
without your trusty flask.
All right, so in final passing, I think that before I leave, I said, well, I don't want to leave you with nothing. So I hand him my flask and say, take a swig of this before I go. Something to remember me by.
Sure. Yeah, so I think he unscrews the cap and he takes like a deep like inhale, like kind of the over exaggerated like and he
And
just
then immediately passes out.
yeah, so he's looking at you the whole time. He puts his lips like kind of like caressing the mouthpiece of your flask, and he like brings it slowly up and takes you see him gulp a few times and he brings it down. And I think you see just barely one of his eyes just twitches just a little bit. And then he slowly, like, he's keeping it together, though. He screws back on the top, and he hands it back, and he goes, delicious. Just like you, I'm sure.
I think
I grab
at
your
that
flask.
point, okay, go ahead.
Your flask. I would grab your flask and be like, oh, I didn't know you brought any of this. I'd pick it, and I'd drink the rest of it, staring at the guy the whole time.
Sure. Yeah. Cool.
And
What have I done?
You've made a bunch of alcoholics is what you've done.
3.
They're both going to be as bad as Wong by the time I
It's
get
actually
there.
it's actually exactly 3 alcoholics. No more, no less than 3. Possibly 4 if why do I forget the name of your pet? Oscar.
Stanley.
Stanley. Perhaps Stanley's been on the ship by himself for a long time now.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So yeah. So do you guys leave the noodle bar?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So you guys walk out, and I think that as you walk out, you hear the table of dudes, like the noodle douche esquires. They begin
His court.
yeah, they begin laughing just uproariously.
The court of douchery.
Yeah, just they begin laughing just uproariously, and you see him kind of like dejected, does the like shake his head, and like kind of like hangs his head and walks back over to the table and sits back down with them, and they're all like patting him on the back and giving him noogies or whatever noodle douches do in their revelry. Yeah, I think that's about it for that scene.
I do think Noogies died in the 90s, though.
Well, see, that's the thing is there have been new 90s. It's the year 3264. So there's been one more 90s. Granted, it was during the silence when there was no space travel and people were dying en masse, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, hold on 1 second.